Find the real values of a in the exponential equation. A raised to power 6 minus a raised to power 3 equal to 2. Hello everyone, welcome to a Maths Olympiad solution class for today. In today's video, we are going to find the real values of a in this exponential equation. But before we do that, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel in order to get our subsequent simplified solutions of our Maths Olympiad questions once they are published. Remember, subscription to this channel is absolutely free. Now, to solve these questions, we are going to do some gradual simplification or factorization. A raised to power 6 will become a raised to power 3 will become a raised to power 3 all squared, because 3 times 2 is equal to 6, minus a raised to power 3, and that will be equal to 2. So what we'll do is we'll bring 2 to this part to become minus 2. So we'll have a raised to power 3 square minus a raised to power 3 minus 2 equal to 0. So in this equation now, we have a raised to power 3 as our power. So we'll let a raised to power 3 to be equal to m. So if a raised to power 3 is equal to m, we'll have our m square minus m minus 2 is to be equal to 0. Now, having gotten this, we are going to solve this quadratic equation. We'll solve this quadratic equation using the factorization method. So we're going to look for two factors that will simplify to give us minus 2, and those two factors will give minus 2 and plus 1. Minus 2 times plus 1 will give us minus 2. So we're going to apply that here. We'll have m minus 2 as a solution, and then we'll have m plus 1 as a solution. So our m will be equal to 2 and our m will be equal to minus 1. Recall that we say a raised to power 3 is equal to m. So if we apply that for m equal to 2, we'll have a raised to power 3 equal to 2, right? And to simplify that, we'll just simply cube root both sides in order to clear this cube. To do that, we'll cube root both sides. We'll cube root both sides. We are going to have cube root of this equal to the cube root of 2. So this will clear this, and then we'll have our a to be equal to 3 cube root of 2. So if we simplify that, you simply see that a will be equal to 2 raised to power 1 over 3, and this is the first value we'll get for a. Now if we go back to the other question, for m equal to minus 1, we'll have a raised to power 3 to be equal to m. So if m is minus 1, we'll have a raised to power 3 to be equal to minus 1. Minus 1 comes over here. That will give us a raised to power 3 plus 1 equal to 0. So we'll have a raised to power 3 plus 1 raised to power 3 equal to 0. Now remember the law of algebraic function, that if we have powers of 3 like this, they will be equal to, that will give us equal to a plus 1, and then we'll have a square minus a plus 1, and this is exactly what a raised to power 3 plus 1 raised to power 3 will give us. That is an algebraic formula. So having given us if this gives us this whole thing will be equal to 0. So from here we'll have our a plus 1 to be equal to 0, and then we'll have our a squared minus a plus 1 to be equal to 0. So over here we have our a to be equal to minus 1. So that means that's another solution to the quadratic formula, and then we'll have a squared minus a plus 1 to be equal to 0, which is also a quadratic equation. So the next thing we're going to do is to simplify this quadratic formula. To simplify that, we'll have our a squared minus a plus 1 equal to 0. So we're going to use the almighty formula, the quadratic formula. For the quadratic formula, we'll have our a to be equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So having gotten this formula, we'll find out that if we compare it with that equation, we'll find out that our a is equal to 1, our b is equal to minus 1, and then our c is equal to plus 1 or 1. So if we store that into the equation, we'll have our a to be equal to minus into bracket minus 1 plus or minus square root of minus 1 square minus 4 times a is 1 multiplied by c is 1, and this will be all over 2 times a, which is 1. So this will give us minus times minus times minus will give us plus. So we'll have 1 plus or minus square root of what? Minus 1 square will give us 1, minus times minus 4 times 1 will give us 4 times 1, that will give us minus 4. So this will give us minus 4 all over 2. So this will give us 1 plus or minus square root of minus 3 all over 2. So to simplify that solution further, we'll have our a to be equal to plus 1 plus or minus square root of what? 3 multiplied by minus 1 all over 2. So we'll find out that our a is equal to, in complex number, I is equal to minus 1. So if we change that, we're going to have our 1 plus minus square root of 3 what? 3i, and that will be over 2. So our a is equal to 1 plus square root of 3i, which is a complex number, and we have 1 minus square root of 3i all over what? All over 2. Now come to think about this. These two solutions are complex numbers. So we are not going to work with these two solutions because they are complex numbers. So our real solution, they are not real solutions. Our real solution is a equal to 2 raised to power 1 over 3 and a equal to minus 1. Now come to think about this. If we have these two values as our a, and we want to check to see if our result is correct. Let's check. Now if you check the initial value we give in a raised to power minus a raised to power 6 minus a raised to power 3, it should give us 2. Now let's fix in the value of 2 raised to power 3 first to see if this can be correct. When a is equal to 2 raised to power 1 over 3, we'll have a raised to power, I will have a raised to power, that will give us 2 raised to power, that will give us 2 raised to power So this will give us 2 raised to power 1 over 3 all in bracket 6 minus 2 raised to power 1 over 3 all in bracket 3. So 3 will cut 3, and then we'll have 3 here 1, 3 here will give us 2. So our solution will be what? Our solution will be 2 raised to power 2 minus 2 raised to power 1. So this will give us 4 minus 2, and that will give us equal to 2, which shows that what? This solution is what? Is correct. Now let's look at the solution for a equal to minus 1. When a is equal to minus 1, we'll have our a, we'll have our minus 1 raised to power 6, right? Minus 1 raised to power 3. So minus 1 raised to power 6, if we subtract it, we are going to have 1, because we'll have our minus 1 times minus 1 times minus 1. Minus 1 times minus 1 will give us plus 1 times minus 1 will give us minus 1. So we'll continue that way until we get raised to power 6, and that will be minus, this is going to give us minus 1, and that will be equal to minus times minus will give us plus, so we'll have 1 plus 1, and that will be equal to 2. So that shows that the equation is what is correct, and the second answer, which is a factor a equal to minus 1, is correct. So our final result will give us a to be equal to 2 raised to power 1 over 3, and a to be equal to minus 1. This is a solution of that exponential equation given to us above. I know you truly benefited from this video. Don't forget to like, share this video with your friends and colleagues, and don't forget ultimately to subscribe to this channel so that you can get frequent solutions of mass Olympiad videos once they are published. Thanks so much for watching.